So this is the entrance to Lymington Marina. You get access to it up this narrow dredged creek. Although at high tide like this, it doesn't look that narrow, but as you saw last week, when a ferry's coming towards you, it does all get a bit tight. However, in this film, we're not at Lymington, we're heading further west, to Totland Bay, which is almost at the end of the Isle of Wight. And is it just me, or do these ferries look like some kind of weird floating Eastern temple?
So, it's 27-degree heat wave in England, but the Solent is still freezing cold. I've got a wetsuit on and I'm freezing. Okay, I'm good now. That's me. Tide is also really ripping, so we can't let go of this rope or we're going to get drifted off.
Yeah, so we've been looking forward to coming swimming in the Solent, because in the Medway, obviously, everything's covered in mud. But, comparatively speaking, the water is lovely and warm. Here, it's lovely clear water, but it is chilly.
Really? I can't swim against the tide, I'm being ripped back.
So we're in Totland Bay, which is the west end of the Isle of Wight. It's kind of like the last bay before you get to the Needles, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure some of the experts on the Solent will correct me there, but it's going that way anyway. Had to push quite a bit of tide to get here because it's high tide around midday, and the tide rips in and out of this kind of point. There's a narrows between kind of a spit and the point of land before Yarmouth, and there's a good sort of 3 knots of tide ripping through there, so took a bit longer to get here than we expected, but it doesn't matter. But we'll be here all afternoon, and what we'll probably do is take the last of the ebb out and go and see the Needles, and then come back in the evening with the tide pushing us back in again, so should be a good day. So on the hottest day of the year, it's actually really pleasant sitting here at anchor. We've been in the freezing cold water, so that's cooled us down, and now the wind has actually got a chill to it.
Cooled us down, I'm shivering.
Not complaining, because it's lovely, but after, was it yesterday, certainly last night, it was unbearable trying to sleep last night, so it's actually quite nice out here.
As soon as I let go, now going. I'm fine. Izzy, holding on to my pants is not going to stop me falling overboard. It is bumpy.
So as lame as that short film was, that was the last film that our nice posh video camera took. Don't know whether it was heat or wet hands or whatever it was, but it hasn't worked again since. We didn't have a lot of luck with electronics this holiday because the Bluetooth radio and the boat started playing up as well, and the drone footage you saw at the start was the last time I flew the drone. Not because the drone had a problem, but because my cheap Chinese phone didn't update, and from that point on the software wouldn't work. So I'm afraid for the rest of this film you're going to have to put up with clips from my phone. Put her down then. I just said put Winnie down. So. Go on then. She just not a toy, is it? Winnie, is he? Just let her be. She falls in. She falls in. She's done it before.
Can't be any worse than last night. It's a dog. We don't like it
We were walking back to the boat last night, and everyone was very impressed that Winnie knew her way to not only the pontoon but to get on our boat. And then she promptly tried to jump on the boat, which she's never done before, but needless to say she didn't quite make it and slid down between the boat and the pontoon in the dark, a black poodle in the water. It was a bit traumatic for a brief period. Hannah managed to grab her collar and then get hold of her body and lift her out, but yeah, we won't be letting her do that again. Gonna come back? No, that's enough swimming. Well, the plan was to get Winnie to swim from Izzy to Mummy, but it didn't really work. She's had enough of that.
So Izzy and I have gone paddleboarding off Daffy, and there's like loads of rocks here, so we've just asked Ian to bring the snorkels. So gorgeous and warm and lovely. We were worried about the current, but we don't seem to have any current here. We're just staying, well, I suppose we don't really want to run aground there.
You guys can watch me paddle. It's kind of fun, you know, having the camera to, going straight to Dad. I'll come show you some of Dad, but I've got to get there first of all. Here's Dad. It's very rocky here. Seen any?
Not this time. There are lots of little fish, haven't you?
Yeah, up here. I've got one like that big.
Yeah.
But that was like one, then it went into a hole, so...
That was like 6 inches big for people that couldn't see it.
Oh yeah, it was like this big. Yeah, I drifted away, so...
So I put the camera on, Hannah. What are we having for dinner?
Don't, it's embarrassing.
Wait, Winnie, that's not yours.
Did you just eat that, Winnie?
No, she was keen. But...
We're having gammon, new potatoes and baked beans. So posh. And that's Izzy's.
And unfortunately, I'm having to film this on my phone because the camera, actually, so many bits, is in bits because it's packed up.
I look terrible. Don't look at me either. Yeah, my hair is stuck in a solid lump.
What one's me?
Anyway, come on, let's have
Don't
dinner.
let the dog eat my food.
What one's me?
In the middle.
In the middle.
So, as we're so close to the end of the Isle of Wight, we couldn't leave here without going to see the Needles. So we've just pulled the anchor up, getting the last of the ebb of the tide going out. We're going to go out and see the Needles. But it does just raised one other benefit of sailing the Solent rather than the East Coast, in that the anchor has come up completely clean. Normally I have to get the boat hook or something and try and scrape off the huge lumps of clayey mud, and then even then there's still loads of mud on it you can't get off, which ends up in the bottom of the anchor locker making the chain go rusty. So that's a benefit. Anyway.
Looks like we're sailing in the tropics. It's England, the Isle of Wight.
This is lovely. We're going to go and see the Needles. So we're sailing back and it's hardly moving. It's only 2.3, 2.4 knots, but with the wonder of the tide, we're actually doing 5.3 over the ground. Because this is the entrance to the Solent, and the tide rips through here. Where is it we've been? Can't remember. Totland, or I don't know. Anyway, another good day. We've had 2 days here. It does get very busy. You got to pick your anchorage or put up with a bit of a road to the beach. Totland Bay, but it's very nice. Certainly because we've had temperature close to the 30s. We've had high tide, light winds, a little bit more wind today. So it's bumped it around a bit, but no, perfect. So now we're just sailing back. We're sailing back the lazy way, of course, with just a jib. But the thing with the Solent, when you get the tides right, is you get like 3 knots of tide, so you don't have to try too hard to make good times. We're going back to Lymington, which is what we've made our base for these few days, because it's got plenty of places we can go out and drop anchor, and it takes the stress out of the rest of it. We can all have showers and we can go out for dinner and stuff. So it's turned into a really good holiday. I say really good holiday. Good holiday apart from the fact that technology keeps playing up. We've got a Bluetooth radio on the boat, which is fabulous. It's only a cheap thing off eBay, but it's great being able to just play music and that while we're cruising along, except it wouldn't work this morning for some unknown reason until I followed Hannah's advice and we switched it off and switched it back on again, and sure enough it worked then. But the camera's dead, and I don't know how much we paid for our camera, but it didn't cost that much. But even second hand now, they're still £500, so that's an expensive mistake or problem. Anyway, I'll take it apart when we get home. You never know, maybe it was just the heat or a bit of moisture got into it or something, because it has been hot. So we'll eat pizza. And what's special about your pizzas?
I don't have cheese.
I don't have tomato.
And I have everything. Still here.
Actually, you don't have tomato.
Oh yeah, you have pesto, yeah?
Yeah, just weird, aren't it? 'Eat pizza, that's where we had our dinner last night. Surprisingly good pizza. Well, I say surprisingly good. I suppose it doesn't have to be surprising, except I'm always disappointed with pizza, and I wasn't disappointed there. So. The next morning, we decided to head across the Solent to Newtown Creek, which is the anchorage in the Solent, the place everyone tells you to go.
Some proper money out on this Solent. Look at these. And that massive motorboat. It's got to be millions. Oh, and a pogo. I do like a pogo. Nice. So we are now entering Newtown Creek on the Isle of Wight. It's packed because it's a really hot day. I'm having to do this off my phone because we've broken our camera. But it's fine. Hopefully you can hear me. Right, this place is absolutely packed, and we've got 3 knots of tide against us, so I doubt we'll be swimming or paddleboarding unless we can get out the tide somewhere. Right, I think somebody's swimming ahead, so I might need to tell him that. So I was a bit nervous going somewhere new with shallow water. Lots of yachts this side though, so let's go over here.
Okay, so I don't know how well this is going to go out because, as we said earlier, the main camera's packed up. So I've just used my phone. I've got my phone out, and the front camera won't work on the phone now. It's either me or it's the technology in this heat or these conditions, whatever. Anyway, we're leaving Newtown Creek. We didn't stop there. It's kind of everything that's good and everything that's bad about the Solent. It's a fabulous little bit of water. Lovely place to drop anchor, except everyone knows that, and there's so many boats here on such a glorious day in August. It is packed, and there's no fun in that at all. So rather than struggle with that, we're just sailing back in a sort of a cruisy way. We just a jib up, but although there's not much wind, the tide rips through the Solent. Don't think I ever really appreciated how much tide there is down here. We were pushing sort of 3 knots getting up to that creek, so if I get the 3 knots back with the 5 or 6 knots of wind there is, actually that'll turn into a nice breeze. I accept it's all because it's in the wrong direction, but yeah, won't worry about that. So anyway, we're sailing back and we're having cold pizza. We went to eat pizza last night in Lymington, which is very nice as pizza places go. So I've got cold pizza. Well, we've all got cold pizza, but I'm having mine now. Oh, and because we're having a lazy day, it was wash day today, so I can't even really film Hannah and Elizabeth eating their cold pizza because there's nowhere to move. Don't know how well this is going to come out since I'm just using the phone, but I've stood on this tack longer than I was necessarily going to, just so I can film this boat. I think that's a red wing. Don't get them round our way, but very elegant looking boat. It's high aspect ratio rig and long waterline length, well, long hull length. Very classic swoopy hull. It's good. Just before we go, I thought I'd show you this boat. These camera pictures don't really do it justice. It was on the end of one of the pontoons at Lymington. Beautiful boat.